Look at yourselves! Look at yourselves, you filthy people! Hello. My internet says it's bad, so I don't know what that means. Oh yeah, do you remember like retro time? It had to start off. It's retro time. Let's see. Actually, I'm just gonna have a quick look. Bear with me. I did do. I don't know if you've seen the back office show retro time videos. See if I can find them. Clearly not. Clearly, I didn't do a good job of actually making a. Oh, I might have a playlist for it. Let's see. Let's have a look. Verdi, Baza, Johnny, everybody. What's all this crap? Oh, here we go. Right. Let's do that. Retro time. I kind of feel it was in a play. Retro net? No, no. Think of some games. I haven't really prepared for this. I really just came on because Cragger. Oh, retro time. It's not even here. That's a disgrace, isn't it? That was a whole like series of retro time, and there's not even a playlist for it. Junk. Oh no, there is. Look, retro time.
In 5 seconds, you can skip this ad. What you
Bugger
can't
off.
skip is climate change.
So retro time, though, originally there was actually its own thing. Look, there's Bubble Bobble. Retro time. God, I was almost like I was a streamer first, wasn't I? Look, there we go. Right, so come on, suggestions. Suggestions on what I want to have a go on. Craig suggested more, but I finished that now. We're done with that, aren't we? Neil, how is your what do you call it? Is it a miser, Mister, Master? Your little Raspberry Pi type gadget. I say Raspberry Pi. It's absolutely nothing to do with a Raspberry Pi. So Craig, come on, what are we playing, Craig? You were eager for this to happen. I can just pretend to be playing Bubble Bobble. I'll just make it full screen and go and hide. It's a bit eerie looking at a younger you. Oh no, doesn't want to play full screen. Oh, there we go. In a cleaner, more empty looking back office there. Get you a Neo Geo set up. Oh, all right then. What's a Neo Geo emulator? That seems like it's almost a bit. I'll have to go and find ROMs and stuff. Retro fitness equipment. Oh, I've got a little update for you, everybody. Actually, interestingly enough, I'm currently at the end of day one of a 3-day fast. I decided to wean myself off some of my worst habits. And I think Neil might be aware of this. Lots of people who know me is that I love sugar. I love eating sweets and junk all the time, and I've put on a few pounds as a result. So I've decided I'm going to do this fast and just try to again break myself from the addiction. So that's going well so far. Right, let's have a look in the old library. I bought something recently. That's why I thought we'll have a look in the library because I'm sure I bought something that I haven't even played yet. I might even download it. So let's see what we've got. So we've got just looking at the downloaded games so far. Warhammer, blah blah, Stronghold. What's Milk Race? Milk Race on the. Oh, that sounds amazing. It's not rude, is it, Neil? I'm going to do incognito window purely because I've been doing some website stuff the last few days, and there's a horrible thing when your web browser caches up stuff and you can't do anything. So Amstrad CPC online. There must be there is a CPC emulator. Choose configuration. So let's see. I don't think there's going to be Milk Race. It has Tetris on it. I can have a quick go at Tetris because I did play this on my Game Boy, my original Game Boy. I don't hear sound. Oh, this would be amazing if it had sound, wouldn't it? Are you ready? Yes. Oh no, what are the keys? Joystick? I can't tell. I rotated it, obviously. I must have pressed it. Oh, space. Yeah, okay. Neil, what was left and right on the keyboard? What was the most popular configuration for it? Hey, Keith, how's it going? No joystick mode. Ah, okay, so I turned off the no joystick mode. Now I've got. Oh, this is sweet, actually. But there's no sound. I can't confirm or deny you'd normally get sound in this because maybe it's just a demo and it doesn't have the old sound. But let's see if this is convincing anyway. First impressions are it does it drops the blocks pretty damn quick. I think if you're used to the Game Boy Tetris, you wouldn't be happy with that. Keith, were you an Amstrad CPC fan back in the day? Maybe you still are one. I've got one, and I have to admit, it doesn't get as much love as I really need to give it. And it's the same with the TRS-80 and all of those computers. They just sit there at the moment being languid. And I was with Neil, I think it was last weekend, and we went to this Amiga Owners Club um, gathering. Hey, McBeam, nice of you to make it, sir. And there was loads of lovely retro gear out, and it really just makes me want to drag out the retro gear just to just show people, because I think that's the only way you're going to do it. If you're all together on a Saturday at Swag, there you go, Swag. Um, it's just like, oh, you got other people to play with, if that makes sense. And if you've got other people to play with, I think you're more likely to just drag it out and have a little tinker, give it a dust, hook up the monitor, like just stuff that you like the idea of doing at home, but you can't quite be bothered to. Castado, how are you? Castado, we're just getting warmed up here by trying some Amstrad CPC games. So Keith says, you owned a Spectrum, Sped had an Amstrad, but I didn't use it. Checks out some Amstrad games on YouTube. I've played a couple in emulation. I didn't have a Amstrad back in the day, and I didn't know anyone with one, but they're a really good machine, aren't they? I mean, look at the graphics; they're beautiful. I mean, it's got nice colours. It's a really decent speed processor. I do remember reading something that there was some lazy ports for it though from the Spectrum, so I think it always kind of got chucked in with that, the same as the sort of Spectrum, but I think it was definitely a more competent machine than that. So Craig, you're going to get your 3D FX equipped PC going. That's bloody a good idea. You know what? I've got the same thing. I've literally got behind me, which you can't see because of the green screen. I keep saying it. This entire setup, which is a whole replica of this big setup I've got here. So it's quite a juicy one. It's got the 8-core processor, all the jazz, all the 16 gigs of RAM, and it's been sitting there for probably about 2 years, never used. And it's got the same kind of open desktop case, which makes it a little bit impractical because you need a certain amount of room. I mean, immensely practical for digging in, but amazingly impractical if you want to live it under a desk or something. So I was donated a few older computers. I mean, they're not massively retro. I think they might be Pentium 4s, Pentium 3s era. Um, and they're pretty crap to be honest with you because they're not modern enough and they're not retro enough, right? You can't do anything with them, but they do have nice big cases, and one's like it's an ugly Packard Bell, but it does come with a really nice kind of server-ish type gaming PC case. So, oh no, did you see that? I did a block slide. Ugh. I really wasn't expecting that, the timing to be on that. And that's been one of my projects, is to replace that whole back office spare rig into that other case, so I can just run it in like the front office. So I've got a nice setup there and can just get on with it. But what I end up doing a lot of the time is just running like TeamViewer and Steam Link from the front office to the back office. But it's not quite good enough, because when you're rendering, it does still mean that you can't be streaming or doing something else. And we could just as easily be doing this stream from the front office, where I'll be warmer and surrounded by all my retro computers. So yeah, okay. I think all in all though, Tetris, I think it's bloody good. I want to work out now how to get these games on my actual hardware. Um, I suspect there's probably. I'm going to try a different thing, by the way, to see if we get something with sound. I want some sound though. I suspect there's a way of getting them onto tape again, just playing it out of your PC and just recording on your external tape player. So you think the disadvantage can be speed? Maybe. Keith, I wonder if the Spectrum, and I'm going to find another emulator that's got bloody sound. Come on, there must be one. Um, is probably because, like the MSX, you had on the Spectrum, I think you pretty much just had the video driver, effectively the digital analog converter, was reading through the memory directly and just chucking it straight out onto the screen, right? And I think that's why you got all that other funkiness and the bars around. I think more sophisticated machines like the MSX and the Amstrads, I think they have this thing where they are actually reading that in and processing that in a video chip or some extra logic to handle the video, which again, that's an extra step it has to go through. Look at these. These look lovely. Doesn't they look amazing when you see all of these, artworks and things just sort of right there in front of your eyes? What's the link, McBeam? Well, I'll send you the link to the page I'm looking at right now. So Neil says, Retro Man Cave, Tetris 95, who was using an Amstrad in 1995? I think that's a good question. Let's try this one, Karnov. I've always think Karnov. Karnov is like I always think it was like an arcade game, so I'd really like to see this one. Rainbow Islands. Ooh, definitely. Let's see if we can get this working with sound though. Oh, it has instructions here. OP, QA and space. OP, QA and space. And if we hit full screen, do we get sound? Could it be because I'm in incognito mode? Does incognito prevent browser sounds coming through, I wonder? Oh no! Sound. And if anyone's interested, I am in the Discord chat. Oh wow, this is terrible. So, Flamely IT was using it. Craig. I've just read between the lines of what Craig is saying. Craig saying, I can confirm incognito mode doesn't mute sound. All right. Okay, we're getting the gist here. Look at this bit here. What's this crazy? Oh, there's a little ladder. I picked up this little ladder thing. There's a shoe. I'm gonna say this must be one of the bad ports. Surely this is terrible. Look at the way the graphics don't have any alpha channels on the background. Karnov guy does, but look at the other things like the ladder and the oh my gosh. It's like when you start remembering, oh yeah, why you probably don't actually bother getting out these systems too much. What the hell did those guys come from? What I think is also an intriguing thing is I think that if you had any sort of programming languages on all these old retro machines, I think you're more likely to drag them out because you've got some sort of productivity software. I find it very difficult to play video games now, but writing a C program or a basic program it's still the same kind of experience. And I have to admit, after that swag meet, okay, I think we've had enough of Karnov. After that swag meet, Pixel Vixen was doing a demonstration of animation and graphics on an Amiga. I actually downloaded, I didn't download it, it was on my Satan disk image, some office software, and I got some desktop publishing software. And I remember that back in the day, that was the big thing, wasn't it, on all of those 16-bit machines? Ooh, I could do DTP. I don't know why we were all thought we were going to be publishing newsletters, but it seemed to be a big thing at the time, and that's why you were going to get one to make your newsletter. And there's something lovely about seeing the old typeface fonts. Here we go. What's this thing? Okay, I'm going to wind that down. It's super loud in my ears. Okay, get Dexter. Karnov looks like a Bobo from Double Dragon. I think you're right there. Have we crashed the our CPC? Ah, it's just no good. This is why you have to be like Chinny Vision and use original hardware. Didn't Quark Express Bazza though look really good? Isn't Quark Express like a presentation software? Now I had a discussion with. Oh, let's do Rampage. I play a lot of Rampage, so I'll be able to give a good verdict on Rampage. I was speaking to someone today about university, and at my university, I'm pretty sure, although I graduated, God, although I graduated in 2000 and then did my doctorate, that would have been in 2003, right? Through that whole period, I can never recall ever seeing digital projection. I definitely presented materials on OPN like a digital projector, but for all lecturing and stuff like that, I think we were still using acetate film. I think we had the hardware as well. I think we just like acetate film because it had that thing where you can write on it, a little bit like a whiteboard. Yeah, okay, I'm just going to turn this up a bit. How about that? I'm still trying to find punch button here. Yeah, so as I was saying, we were still doing acetates and stuff. So it's really weird because you did have quite a lot of software for doing these presentations, and I guess it was because there just no. How about now? Alright, I've got to turn off this bloody sound then. If I'm going to wear the headset, I've got to turn it off because it is awful. The music is terrible. Right, anywho, as I was saying, it just seemed that we were still living in a very acetate driven world. But the argument with that was, I was saying, was that maybe it actually meant that people who were presenting material had to really be able to get in and dirty and actually be able to present it rather than just reading slides. And I feel, ooh, hello. And I feel to this day I'm never more happy than when I'm in front of a whiteboard or a blackboard or a flip chart. Those are quite good, aren't they? The old flip chart. Keyboard, come on. There's something crap about the key. I think the problem with emulation of this thing, the Amstrad CPC had it did have a kind of a joystick thing, didn't it? It had a nice cursor key arrangement, and I think these are all just not working. These are just not working for me. Guys, this is not working for me. Is there a better way of trying these bloody games out? Certainly this one's not as good. Retro Gamer. Java CPC Games Site. Yeah, Craig, the flip chart. Sometimes I'll use the front of the flip chart, and when all of those charts are full, I'll flip the whole chart round and use the backside. You heard it here first. Games. games. Is this an actual play in the browser or is it a Where's site? Where's? Lovely, lovely Where's. Look at these titles here. The Living Daylights. Yeah, Costado, I wouldn't even know. I'd have to hook up the capture thing, although I think that is already hooked. No, it's not happening. Not tonight. Neo Geo Fun. Craig, can you actually play Neo Geo games in a web browser now? Are we actually that sophisticated in our technology? I'm just looking through. I was wondering if there was a Dune game on Amstrad CPC. I quite like that whole Dune. No. Hmm. What about was there a good what's that game where you are a spaceman and you're flying around the screen picking up pieces of a spaceship, a rocket, so that you have to build a rocket? I'd play that one if we can find that one. Milk Face, Neil. What the hell is Milk? Oh, Manic Miner. That's almost Jet Set Willy, isn't it? Milk Face. Are you sure Milk Face? Amstrad's Jetpack. Milk Face or Milk Race? Saracen. Oh, it's Milk Race. Just sounds like a. Oh, it's just literally a, a bicycle simulator. So, hey, well, jetpack. Let's try the old jetpack one first. What, Costado? If you're doing streaming from a real thing, what about the whole waiting for the things to load? Jet Set Willy. Look, there's no jetpack here. This is not a very good library, is it? What is the other options then? Becky says Saracen, and Flamely says Green Bolare. So let's see, Saracen. Maybe we'll find something. All these sexy looking games here. I think that the CPC owners were making the most out of their graphics. Oh, look, Saracen is there. Look at that, Samantha Fox strip poker. Wow, wow, wow. So there we go. Click on the image to run Saracen US Gold in the Java applet. Okay, let's do that. Is it working? Mr. Nightlaw, it doesn't seem, well, I couldn't find it on there. This is poo. I think that the maintainers of JavaScript and CPC games catalogs are really letting the side down. We've not had one that's really worked properly, have we? But it looks really awesome. This is a website. Look, it's got these chat rooms on the bottom. Who's online? Look at that. This looks like a right fun website to hang out in. I remember back in the day, I did a website that was very much like that. It was for a wing, as we used to call it, those who used to play Combat Flight Simulator. I'm going to go back. I don't think this is doing it for us, this website. It looks amazing, but it's just poo. Um, and I set up a literal, just a regular website, but I had so much materials on there, but we had so much interactive content. So we had like instant messaging, chat, and all of those things that we used to just hang out on the website, which is really weird because you don't get that, right? The website never really quite replaced bulletin boards because it didn't have that interactive element. And I guess even to this day, they still don't. The Neo Geo, what's that Neo Geo emulator site then? Come on, give us it. Don't hold back. Share the wealth. Oh, by the way, there is something I did want to show you guys, and I can probably show you in the stream. Although you're going to have to bear with me on this. You might be able to see. Oh, hello. In my there we go. In my in my capture, I paused because my hard disk seemed to be spooling up. Now I want to show you this thing. Yeah, thank you, Craig. I think you've done a whoopsie. Neil, yes, that is. You're right. That is it is an interesting site for doing the multiplayer fun. Um, So I've made a whole bunch of these, right? And they're going to be on my back office shop soon because I'm just still in the process of debugging and I wanted to come up with a killer use for it. So what you see there on the screen wiggling away, all those little wiggling things, is this. So it's a bit of breadboard connected to one of those boards. And I do have other things to connect to it. I've just disconnected them for now, but these are switches and pots and relays and all sorts of junk. And what this board does, it basically lets you capture what you see on the screen. So you can see you've got two digital channels, channels 1 and 3. You can see those digital channels. And then you've got a whole load of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 other analog channels just sitting there. So you can configure this and build your own gamepads basically. So you can take any gamepad or whatever you've got and wiggled that out of existence. And you can actually retrospectively add this board and configure it any way you want. And the difference between this and ones that you've seen before is that this one supports full analog, right? So if you look at here where I've got the axis selected, I've got X, Y, Z, RX, RY, RZ, SIO, these are sliders, slider 0, slider 1. So you can configure all of that. So if you've got any retro consoles, you can do that and build your analog retro flight simulators. But don't be alarmed because also what you can do in Windows, even though it's a digital axis, it's very easy to still turn it into an analog output. Because imagine what you do is when you push X all the way left, you'll make it go to 0 volts, and if you go all the way to the right, you'll make it go to 5 volts. So you can actually convert digital, use an analog input for a digital output. Yes. So where do you get these? Well, for the time being, if you go on Discord and ask me nicely, there's a really good chance because I've got at least 5 ready programmed up that I can give to you, and you can probably get them gratis. And then beyond that, I'm going to put them on the website for sale and try to recoup some of my uh, costs on these. Just to show you though, they're basically on the Booby Board platform. These are a gold plated contact PCB with onboard regulator, actual USB FTDI 232R chip, so it's a dedicated USB chip to remove latency. You've got your lovely little microcontroller just where my finger is, and they are reprogrammable, but to be honest with you, I think once you've got these wired in, you're going to just want it. McBeam says he wants 3. McBeam wants 3 of them. So McBeam will have to hook up and get you 3 of these. What are you going to do with 3? Are you going to have the flight stick in one? You could do the flight stick and a whole bunch of controls for. We worked it out, Neil, didn't we, on your hot ass stick? McBeam's asking very nicely. We worked out for whatever one that Neil had, which was a retro Thrustmaster setup. I think you might need 2, one for each side. But like I say, oh yeah, just to show you, by the way, in this driver on the top right here, you see here, I'm going to hit disconnect. You just hook it up. These are emulator COM ports. You just click connect. So they've got a protocol, a high-speed protocol. You could see I've wound them down though to be a bit more efficient because it's running now at 38 updates per second to give your PC more chance because these things were spitting it out at hundreds of updates per second, which is way too fast for your PC to deal with, and it was using too much PC CPU. So there you go. So yeah, I thought I'll just share that with you because again, I haven't worked on a video for that or a project, but it does need a nice project, doesn't it, to really show it. Yeah, stick, throttle, and rudders. So yeah, so Neil, I think you definitely got stick and throttle because I had so many buttons on the ones you had. You'd probably need 1 each. But even with a little bit of electronics know-how, what you can do, I'll just show you something that's really cute. It's tricky to do, by the way, but it's really cute if you can do it. You can actually do this thing where you have a bitmapped button. You see down here at the bottom, you've got this bitmapped button. And by the way, these channels are all jittering around because they're open. They're not connected to anything. The only one that's connected is channel 4. That's why it's solid. These are just floating inputs right now. But just to show you, what you can do is imagine these floating inputs are values coming in on the digital to analog to digital converter. What you can actually do is select each one of these 16 bits, any one of these 16 bits, and you can actually individually select them as buttons as well. So you could say this is going to be button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4, button 5, button 6. So for each analog channel, technically, if you can get a very clear resistor ladder, yeah, you could set up 16 inputs just on each analog channel alone. So that's without any doing any matrices or anything like that. So you've got a hell of a lot of inputs here. The Just work out what you need to do. So yeah, for jittery pots, Neil. In fact, I'll just hook up a pot real quick if you want to bear with me. It won't take long. I've just got it here. So I'm just hooking up a pot, and let's make sure we're going to have the swipe. The other day I hooked up a pot, by the way, and I hooked it up well wrong. So it was quite funny. So in one position, I was wondering why the hell is the whole board resetting itself when I turn the pot one way? And as you can imagine, that's because the pot was basically shorting out the entire input. So I've got a pot now connected. There you go. So Neil, can you see on channel 7 on the screen there? I've got a pot connected, so you can see the input's actually really quite clean, yeah? But what you can do, in fact, look at that, it is bloody good. I mean, it's not pots that jitter, it's the software normally, but if it's a dirty pot, it will be a bit gross. But what you can do, hit setup here, and I'll show you what you do, is you click calibrate, and I'm going to leave this in the center, that I think is the center, and I'm going to click next. Then I'm going to move it to the extremities, and then you can see you've got this nice, pretty linear actually. You know, this pot has a pretty linear input, surprisingly. But what I would always suggest to do, you can see here you've got exponential curves and you've got dead bands. So what you can always do is give it a dead band. You see here, you can see the curve coming on. Got the dead band. So what that's saying is, because this is emulating. Oh, you don't know where this goes. Joystick. What this actually does here, so this is your standard Windows thing, right? Remember what you're seeing on the middle of the screen. This is the emulation, right? And then on the right you've got like a VJoy, or it works with lots of different virtual joystick formats, but I'm using VJoy. So Windows thinks that VJoy is a USB connected joystick, right? And my software running on the device and the software you're seeing in the middle of the screen is actually processing it to send it to that joystick. So what you can see here is there's this big dead zone, and you can see that it's on Y rotation. Oh, there, I haven't hit calibrate. You remember you got to calibrate Windows and stuff. But what you can do basically, what channel are we on this one? Let's see if we can do that. We're on channel 7. Um, but if you watch this thing, you can see the Y rotation. Watch it there. So it's going up, 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 up. Nothing, 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 nothing. Let's resume. Yeah. Look at that. How configurable is that, right? All right. Hey, BBC. Yeah, sorry, we just had a little bit of a detour from retro, but we're going to go back to it. It's about Neil's retro interfaces. And then the last thing is you've got some exponential curves and stuff you can apply. You'll see it more if I lower the dead zone. Yeah. So that's if you want the response to be logarithmic, so that like a volume control or something. But there's something else, Neil, we can do with this. You could make a whole knob, make a mixing desk, couldn't you, for OBS or something like that, right? So there you go. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. I was just excited to try to show somebody. I've been working on this thing and nobody seems really interested in it, and I'm like, I don't think I'm doing a good job of really trying to tell people, about the stuff I make. I think the Odroid hat was the only one that really took off in any number. Oh no, the account's suspended. Um, so I think I should have a go at this one because I really love to see some equipment online. Oh yeah, by the way, I just want to try something. I'm going to try Spectrum online Chucky Egg because we had a debate about this because I've never really played the Spectrum Chucky Egg. I only played the Beeb one. My argue was that that was the best one. So let's try that one. Yeah, so Floating Fat Man, absolutely. So I think I like the idea. I used to play Elite Dangerous a little bit back in the day, not too much, but I kind of thought that would just be about right, wouldn't it? Oh, so Custado, you could be a. Ooh. Don't know if you can hear that. I'll put the volume up a little bit. There was a bit of music here. Oh, look at that. That's a cool emulator, isn't it? My, my. All right, let's see if we can just get on with it. R to redefine keys. Nice. Up. No, it's not detecting what I want for up, though. Up, down, left, right, jump. S to start. Okay. Specky Chucky's better than the Beep. Well, let's see. I'm hoping C. So what I'm going to do then, the sound. I don't know if you can hear. I think I put the sound quite quiet in my headpiece, but you tell me if it's okay for you guys. Now tell me, why do you think this is better than the Beeb version? It doesn't seem to have the it doesn't seem to have the gravity, but it does have some interesting music. Let's do this. No, no. I would love to speak to the author of Chucky Egg. I wonder if they're still alive. Honestly, think about it. Chucky Egg is such a popular title on so many formats, and everybody seems to have played Chucky Egg regardless of what computer. Oh no, space to jump. I was pushing up to jump. Up is not jump. Let's see if it's got the bounce though. No, I don't know, guys. Yeah, there was a bit of egg bounce there. That was all right. So Neil, I just did a bit of a bounce though. I think they tried to do the physics on this. I do remember games. I think it was Mr. Punch that had some sampled sound on it. I don't know if it was for Rich Snob's BBC 600. I had one. I think it was primarily for the educational market, but the arcade ports and stuff on it were amazing. So it's like the Archimedes and stuff. These were like real machines, real workstations. Really, if you think about it, it was a working computer, not meant to be necessarily a home computer when they were designed. Um, so it's a bit like having a PC back in the day, isn't it? There's going to be those. I don't know if people consider people had PC snobs, but I remember we had PCs and none of my friends had a PC. But that's just because it was like my dad's work computer. Oh, look at that. That's what the heck. I was starting to lose my mind there. I think this is. No, it's all right. It seems to have the same. Oh, that was a bit easier then. I think on the BBC I would have fallen off the lift then. It sort of corrected me. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Shit. Ah. I don't know. I don't think it's got the frantic pace of the BBC Micro. So McBeam, what sort of games would you have played back in the I guess early 80s this would be? Can you do a ladder jump? Yes. Arse potatoes. Not doing well here. I will tell you one thing though. This doesn't have the nightmarish bloody sounds of Jet Set Willy, does it? Attic Attack. What? Okay, I think we've done Chucky Egg, right? We're all happy. We know that. I want to see Attic Attack again. One of those games I've heard. It's not here though, is it? Oh no, it's not in. It's in year order. No, still not here though. Can't be a popular one on Quap. Quap. Let's look at this. Let's study this momentarily because it's by year. So you have like Arcadia, which is like the first game. So let's play the first game and let's go to the very like Zombie Calvera prologue and see what that's like. Let's see what the graphics and stuff have done over those years. Press the any key to begin. Imagine. I'm going to put my volume up. I want to hear these. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Oh, hang on. My controls seem to be backwards. Am I playing? Is it auto shooting? I'm definitely playing it, but right is left, left is right, and it seems to zoom off. Do you see like it's got a acceleration? All right. So that was like the first game in the list. Pretty weak, to be honest with you. So you choose Alter Ego, Buzzsaw Plus, Genesis, Gravibots, Horace in the Mystic Woods, Invasion of the Zombie Monsters, Carlos, Sip, Speckies, Stormfinch, Willy the Wasp 2, or Zombie Calvera Prologue. Castado, Arcadia is obviously a favourite of yours, and Baz is saying, imagine being 9 and seeing this for the first time. I don't know if my kids would really be that interested in it. So there's some really good titles though, guys. You're like suggesting Horace Goes Skiing, Gryzor, Saberwolf. I mean, those are bloody all good games to be honest with you. Look at this! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hello. What? This looks cool. This is reminding me of, you know, like these modern games you get which are like the kind of shadowy games? And perhaps this works better with the whole, because you know, like they have these moody, atmospheric, in shadow games. Maybe this helps with the old color clash, doesn't it? It's playing really nicely. Again, I would be really interested in copying these to cassette tape and getting them on the actual specky. Yeah, I think this is a new game, guys, because it had the date of well, look at the bottom. It says the Mohon Twins 2010. Am I dying when I go to the bottom of the screen? Oh yes, look, you're losing energy. I like when the things hit you, you get thrown around there. That was a lot like the game Exile back in the day. Do you ever remember playing Exile? Oh, Mr. Wimpy. Zombie Calvera Prologue. I mean, it's such a random name as well. I'd love to know what you're supposed to do in it. Oh, I think you're supposed to get the crucifixes. I think they're crucifixes. Is that what you call those stylized crosses? That's good. Castado, do you think that the Spectrum Next could damage the coding scene by people only writing games that will be Next compatible and not compatible with original Spectrum? I mean, I never thought about that, but that could be a worry, couldn't it? Because there's going to be a lot more Spectrums, ZX Spectrums around than Nexts. And if you are a retro gamer of the future collecting, it's going to be really sad because you still will probably be able to pick up a regular Spectrum, but you won't be able to find a Next. Brain ache. Okay, I'm loving this. This is good. So yeah, that's pretty damn impressive. Brain ache, Becky. What are all these crazy games? What was that? Oh, phew, it's not there. Now, Saberwolf's not even there. This is a weird list, isn't it? It's got Boulder Dash though. What was that game you guys made me play once? And it was really weird. It was like you choose cards, and it's like you have to choose like your path through life. It was some crazy thing, right? E F M. What are these these are crazy keys on here. I'm just trying to look at the keys here. You see there's a keyboard up, so it can be either E for up, F for down, right? They're already at an angle, but okay, I'll go with that. Right, symbol shift or C. Okay, let's try some contortion here. Get it? Okay, X, C. And 0 or V. That's mental. Although I guess, do you need fire and boulder dash? BBC, I think these. I don't know. I think with the next, it might. I suspect when they're using all the fancy graphics modes and stuff, they won't be compatible anymore. Is that a good thing, the green? I think the green's a bad thing. I'm not sure if this is a really convincing. I was once having a debate with Chinny, if you watch Chinny Vision. What the heck? And, yeah, come on. And he said that the Repton on the BBC Micro sucked, right? He said it was a really nasty Boulder Dash rip-off. And I thought that that's a really, I think, naive way of looking at it. I mean, I don't know if, what's it, Tim Tyler who wrote that was inspired by Boulder Dash. I don't even know if Boulder Dash was out at that point. But I don't think you could compare. I mean, this is balls. Look, I'm actually running off the screen. I don't know where I am now. I'm going to have to wait. I'm going to wait for a bit. Look at this. Just to let it catch up. Yeah, Repton is great, isn't it? Look at that. That is terrible. This is probably the worst port of Boulder Dash I've ever played. Look, you can actually just outrun the scrolling. So, Castardo, so you've played Jim Bagley's games, but you think they don't feel like Spectrum games. Do they feel a bit like, how would you describe them then? Would you feel like a PC Engine? Oh. Well, I guess it's probably hardware is starting to touch something similar to the PC Engine, isn't it? Gravibots. Oh, the music's lovely, isn't it? The music's good too. Oh, look, guys! Look what we've got here! We've got basically like VVVVV, haven't we? Not sure I'm supposed to do though, that's the downside. Bot destroyed. Oh, that's me. Castardo, what are you supposed to do? How do you solve said puzzles here? Bazza, check that out though exactly. I don't know if it is quite the same chip. I was rooting around in the ST the other day and I'm not sure it totally is. I think it's definitely like a variant. I like this for its music and its thing, but gosh, I don't know what you're supposed to do. And that kind of already starts to kill it as a puzzle game. Simon, you're right though. The music's so good. I just want to like keep it on the screen just to hear the music. Alright, I'll have one last go. I'm going to push all the keys on the keyboard to see if I can get the guy to shoot. Definitely isn't a shoot though. Alright Neil, see you soon. Enjoy your thing, your weekend. I'm trying to see, these robots don't even seem to be following you. If they were following you, or are they? No, they don't follow you. So I don't think, you've got to, try to escape them or something. So when was the Spectrum next released? I don't know if they did a Kickstarter or something a while back, and I think they're talking about making a second batch now. So I think it's sometime last year. But if you have a look, I don't know if there's. I heard there was some sort of pre-order Kickstarter for the second batch, and then I heard stuff about there being PCBs somewhere but no cases, or there's all sorts of all these rumors you hear. So it's really hard to know exactly what's going on with them. Linda, you were just superb at the high school science Olympiad. Enough talk, my loving geek. Just relax and... Suddenly, a lightning bolt from the dark sky hit Ned's car. Ned? Don't really know many people called Ned these days. I will take over this mortal world with my army of zombie monsters, and there's no way you can stop me this time. Okay. Let's redefine the keys if we got the option. Right, left, jump, crouch, fire, halt. Let's redefine the keys again. Right, left, jump, crouch, fire, halt. That'll be better. So we just hit 0, I guess, and away we go. Oh my gosh, look, it's got a proper world map and everything. The evil demon disappeared. Oh, it didn't let me read it in time. No way! Oh, halt is pause. This is nice. Because it had that opening thing was a bit like Ghouls and Ghosts, wasn't it? Yeah, I can live with that. Do you think the problem, Costado, is that if they're doing this Kickstarter thing, it makes it look like it's... Kickstarter's a nice way to get your pre-orders, right? And get some, to see if you've got a minimum viable product. They already did the Kickstarter, they've got the product. So if they're really going to go nuts for it, I think they should just start selling them. Get a little bit of stock and start selling them. And if they are worried about the cost, get an investor who also believes in that product. Because doing a second Kickstarter, you're right, makes it like... I did it for the first Kickstarter, I'm definitely not going to do for the second sort of thing. And for me, why would I back it as a Kickstarter? I just want to buy it, right? Just sell me the damn things. Sell me them. And they could work out what's their minimum viable order. We could say, okay, we're selling them, you can buy them right away. It's like pre-order. As soon as we get, 2,000 purchases or whatever, we'll ship them out. Or get someone to back it, like I say, just as an investor who just will cover them for that. Find out what it is. Let's raise some money. Do them a deal. And if they default on the payment, the investor gets to keep all of the IP. It's fair enough, right? Is it an open source project though? Or who designed the IP? I'm guessing it is closed source, right? It's a tricky one. The investor would want something like the rights to make the hardware if the company defaulted. Right, okay, so Baza, yeah, so it's a slightly modified chip, right? I wonder though, because Spectrum stuff was big in Russia and Eastern Europe, I reckon what's the market for it over there? Is it being pitched? Hey, Sam M. Sam M. How's it going? I don't think we've chatted before on the stream. How are you doing? Oh, look at that thing. What is that? This reminds me of I like this. I'm gonna have another go, guys. This was actually really good. So yeah, I advise that invasion of the zombie monsters. I honestly think that look at there's lack of color clash everything on this. This is a nice looking game. I think we decided last time when we were speaking as well. That's the sort of look of a very when you had the early computer systems, right? You used to have single solid sprites. So the color was single solid sprites. Then you have this spectrum-y type way, and I think some other systems did it where they're kind of multicolor sprites, but not, yeah? So there's colors on the image attributes. And then you have be it Commodore 64s, BBC Micros, Amstrad CPCs, where you have fully color bitmapped sprites. And I think that's almost like the different generations. Ooh, you got to crouch. Craig, yeah, this does look good. It looks good. It plays good. I think it's not annoying me, right? Which is I think something that a lot of those old games can do. I mean, that annoys me, but that's just because of my skill. But let's try something a bit more period. We did see Manic Miner here, didn't we? Now Manic Miner is probably one of my favourite of that period, but I'll show you how terrible, apart from the music, how terribly they sort of play. That's jump, pause. Oh no, look, left and right jump at the same time the way this keyboard's mapped. It's going to take a moment. Bear with me. I can't remember the Manic Miner key. Oh, okay. Okay, well, now we're good. Now we're good. So, again, these are the single color sprites we were talking about. So this wasn't using all of the power of the Spectrum. But if you get this, and you like it, try to grab hold of the Game Boy Advance version, because it's got one of those cool modes where it can switch between the old graphics and the modern graphics. And not only that, it's actually really playable, so I think they've tweaked it a bit. What would be interesting though is to look for the Game Boy Advance one and see though who made it. Is it an actual British release? Yeah. Neil, sorry it's not your... Yeah, Tatung Einsteins look awesome. And there's a guy here in the UK who's got like all of them. All of like brand new inbox Tatung Einstein. And I contacted him a couple of years ago and he wanted, I think it was only like, it was $250, which is kind of expensive, but I think he had a monitor and it was all like inbox like new. There you go, and that's why I don't play these games anymore. Hey Robert, Spectrum haters, and that's why. But Rob, we've been trying some games today, and they don't make me hate the Spectrum anymore. So it might just been the games we were. Oh, look at that! Oh, it's got beam charge as well. How does that work? Ah! Okay, let's be careful. Castado, do you find that it's brutal, right? You can complete the first level or two and then it just gets really solid. Now, one of my friends at uni, who was actually a lecturer called Paul Angel, he wrote a game, look it up, called Ethnipod, E-T-H-N-I Pod. And I should have a go at it, shouldn't I? I can't remember. It was a kind of a space gunning thing. Oh, is that guy shooting me? Cyan. +1. So Rob, what retro machine would you prefer then over the Spectrum? I always wanted to try Lemmings on the Sam Coupe. I think that looks like a good version. I have to admit, the other day I did try on my ST all the various versions of Lemmings. So you've got the original Lemmings, which is great. I grew up with the Atari ST version, so it's like, for me, that's the perfect version, right? I love the music, I love the thing, and then actually the PC version was really good too. But then I thought I'll have a go at all the other Lemmings, because they made these different versions of Lemmings, not just reskinned versions of the first Lemmings, but they actually made like Lemmings 2 and Lemmings 3, or different types of Lemming game, and they sucked. They were terrible. No! I'm losing it! So Floating Fat Man, I agree. So Floating Fat Man, commenting of course on the rareness. Yeah, really, really hard to find. Deflector! Now if you had, I had this on the Commodore 64, I think. Man! There's another game which I think is pretty rare to find people play. I don't know anyone who played it. It was called Emotion, I think. And it was on the, I played it on the Atari ST, but, uh-oh. Right, so far so bad. It's not giving you much time, is it? Press enter. Okay, so up, down. I'm just trying to find the left and right, guys. Oh, sod it. Yeah, there we go. I think we've given it the mandatory 30 seconds to try this. But this game is pretty good in that it was good on the Commodore 64 at least. Ooh, and there's an Amiga version. And Neil's played Emotion. Great. Um, so this game, this particular one we're looking at right now, though, is one of those games where you have to all these mirrors and you have to like line it all up. It's kind of like a low rent, The Incredible Machine, and then your laser has to hit the target. And you do that in Portal, right? If you've played Portal and Portal 2, you still have the same challenge. Um, but Emotion, I don't know what they made Emotion for. It was quite a popular game, but I think it would have been on some of the 8-bits for sure. Sir Fred, Quasatron, Executor, Synapse, Akari Warriors, Rebel Star. Rebel Star. Oh my gosh. Okay, right. We can talk about Rebel Star though, can't we, guys? Because Rebel Star was the Julian Gollop's precursor to the UFO series. And what a series it is, honestly. The name escapes me. The keyboard controls are terrible on this. Right. Okay, got it. There is even Game Boy versions of these games, and there's a really good Rainbow Rebel Star on Game Boy Advance. There's also some of the Ghost Recon games, the tactical games, are basically UFO on the. I'm thinking it was on the DS. Fire. How do we finish? Okay, so K cancels. So we're going to say, so basically you've got your characters and you're moving them around a map, and they've got their own attributes and things like that. And if I select this one, for example, you can see like morale great, stamina great, action points. And this was basically the precursor to all the sort of Laser Squad came after that. And then after that, UFO, XCOM UFO, Terror from the Deep. And then it went a bit awry. There was some really weird first-person XCOM games which kind of sucked balls. And then Julian got involved in some sort of online XCOM thing that was really lame. And then went back to getting all the various kind of ports for PC. I've got one up there actually called UFO Aftermath. And it's actually not a bad title as well. So, you know, it's a nice bit of history there. But yeah, I'm not going to play this now because I never really. Oh yeah, Julian Gollop, Neil. Julian Gollop. I could talk to Julian for sure. Oh, I want to just end my turn though. I want to have a go at attacking that rat. Oh, look, they actually look like the xenomorph from Aliens. They've nicked it, haven't they? They've stolen the artwork. I have to admit, I do like tactical turn-based sims. Becky, that's right. It was an email game, wasn't it? It was something weird, right? I remember getting it and being all excited, and then like, oh, how do I do this? And then trying to find someone who might want to play it would be tricky. Oh, no! Look, and it's like an alien archer and everything. Look at this though. This would be brutal. Seriously, look how many enemies are on this. They're taking like an hour to do their turn. But this would have felt amazing on a Spectrum back in the day, wouldn't it? Just to have a world this big and this complicated, because you don't see it now because of the way I'm not really playing it. But you actually have on here, you know, inventory, you pick up things, drop things, you've got weapon clips, you've got grenades. If you want to use a grenade, you normally have to prime the grenade on how many turns before it will go off. So it's all, you know, all detailed. So then just to have it on an 8-bit would have blown my bloody mind. I would have loved to have this on the ST. Sorry, on the ST. I had Laser Squad on the ST, but I would have loved to have this on the BBC Micro. It would have just been just absolutely insane. I would have been playing that a friggin' lot. Wowie. Look at that. That was some serious. Let's do next unit just to count how many I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there's quite. Oh, you do have a lot of units here. It's like a big mission, actually. I was sort of. Right. I think we'll at least have a go at fighting. Fire mode. F. It's not doing it. Can't you fire if you're wounded? You are joking me. Let's try this. Fire mode. Select. Oh, I think it's just F isn't mapped on my keyboard. Oh well, forget it. Anyway, so Becky, you think you've actually got that XCOM email game? Can you find out what the name is? Because I'm just curious. The stainless steel rat rides again. Is that Xenon, as in Xenon, the like Mega Blast Xenon? Yeah, I think this is. Look at this. Does it have music? Does it even have sound? Oh, it has colour. Melbourne House conversion at Lothlorien by Jason Cowling. Music by David Whittaker. Adapted by Tiny Williams. Teeny tiny Williams. Press up, down, left, right, fire mode. I want to hear the music. I never really got on with Xenon too much. The music's great. I think you lose music when it's playing though, because The music, to get the drum effect, is using an FM channel as a... I don't think I can deal with that right now. And that's the same channel the sound effects for your gun's using. Yeah, I think this was the Custado. I think I had this on the ST for sure, right? This was definitely... You had 2 and 1 for sure. The weird thing is, although you've got this control, the left-right control, like you're moving as if you're going left, like a kind of adventure-y game, it basically is a Akari Warriors shoot 'em up construction kit. I love these ladybird things. Look at this guy. Good game. Oh man. Hey, fair fight. Really? So Custado, do some games just chop the music out like totally when you shoot and stuff? Or I remember some games just gave up, didn't they? They just said you've got sound effects or music. That's it. We're not writing a driver or anything. What's this thing at the bottom? This Wilshire box boo 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 in the bottom right corner. Is that an indicator for some power-ups? Oh, there is a mode. There we go. Forgot we did have a mode button. Oh, that's a lot better. I find it hard to believe though you can transform from a Millennium Falcon type ship into this amazing flying one. With so little... Look, it doesn't even look the same. Fair enough. You see what I mean? Look at the graphics of that, right? And then look at that. Weird, isn't it? Baza, we figured it out. It was just me being lame. Oh, what? I have to be El Crapo. The tank. Oh, I'm hitting it though. Oh, this guy's taking some hits. Balls. What was that Spectrum though you could have in your hands? If you had that one, you could have played this on the move, couldn't you? This is good. I'm pleased with that. Oh, I've always wanted to play this forever. Honestly, guys, I promise you, I've never played the Sentinel. And I've always thought it looks really good. Is this the version to break my Sentinel virginity on? Will it be a totally disappointing thing? Oh, the Vega, that was it. The Vega. The Sentinel. Landscape number 11111. Man, oh man. So the idea, I think, of this was that there's something like a sentinel and you've got to sneak up on it or around it or through it. Ugh. Puh. Crunchies at the bottom of my tea. Oh. Maybe I can't play it because I don't have the secret codes. Looks good to me. Yeah, I don't know about that Vega thing. It's all a bit weird, really. Okay, I don't know if the Spectrum version is the one to play on this, Neil. I can do this. I quite like that. That's the old yellow. How do you move? Do you need a mouse? I thought you had a thing where you had like a crosshairs. For, oh, here we go. There's a crosshair. I got the crosshair up. So you have to absorb things and then get above the sentinel and then absorb the sentinel. Well, I'm pushing all the keys, guys. It's just not doing it for me. This is probably not the version to be testing it with. We'll try the Beeb version, I think. So how am I enjoying my Atari scanner? I'm enjoying it a lot. I have to admit, I haven't done a massive amount with it since getting it running, but I do have a little bit of time on this weekend, and I'm going to just have a go at seeing if I can perfect it. The problem I had with it, there was a little problem. The software comes with it doesn't seem to really respect the hard disk. It's almost like it expects you, if you're going to save something or do anything, you have to do it with the floppy. So I'm just going to get either some more different software. Did I get your XCOM? How did you send it to me, Becky? Sorry. XCOM by emails. Ah, yes, I've got it. Thank you. There we go. Thanks, Becky. I will have a look at the old XCOM by emails on Moby Games. So yeah, I have to do something with the hand scanner to make it basically save in the right place for me. But yeah, I'm gonna have a little go. It'd be nice to have like the back office logo or something on the back of the Atari, because I found my Game Boy camera and I took a back office picture of that, and I thought, oh, maybe I could do a little montage or something. That's junk. Rainbow. Okay, getting there, found the keys. Okay, I'm not hating it so far, it's alright. Oh no! It's like I moved to avoid all the platforms there. Hang on. There we go. It's alright, the music's even not too bad, is it? So what did they do then, Fair Fight? You mean they just sold hand scanners, or they were like the hand scanner distribution hub for the whole of the UK or something? Oh, that's terrible. Can you imagine complaining back in those days and saying, "Well, I've ordered my scanner and it's not in the box," and then you'd have waited like 30 days for that to ship to you as well. Do you remember everything was 30 days? God, this is actually quite hard when it's a hard version. But bear in mind, we would have had oh no, come on. We would have had this on the 16-bit machines, wasn't it? Wasn't this really a 16-bit title rather than an 8-one? Come on. There we go. Goal in. Good. Well done. And well, come on, Neil. I would be more on the Atari ST version. Now, I found a magazine. I was looking at Atari ST magazine the other day, and I found an advert for a company called, I think it was called Gestinier Computers, Gestiner, something like that. And they advertised back in the day, and I picked up my very first Atari ST from them with a 1040 upgrade. I went to their offices, and I don't think they expected people to just have walk-ins. I think they were more like mail order companies back then. So I just sort of rock up there with my fistful of dollars and went in there and said, I want an Atari ST 1040, please. Because he had the magazine in my hand and that was the price. And they were like, okay, cash, how do we deal with cash? And they went away. And they said, can you just wait here a minute? And I was waiting probably about 20 minutes because a guy went round the back. He basically had to fit the memory upgrade, right? The Sims in it. So he'd done all that. And I remember coming out with my Atari ST, I think it was the Discovery set. It was quite late in the day, actually, quite late in the life of that. So it's something amazing when you see in the magazines all of those adverts and stuff, because it's really like a cottage industry. I don't know if you get that. Neil might get that vibe for it, but it's a bit like a uh, it just gives you a nice warm feeling, I guess is what I want to say when you see that and you realize these companies aren't like megacorps. Those companies in the mags making those hand scanners, making those bits and pieces, they're all just like normal small little companies. And I'm trying to remember that hand scanner that did have its software was by a company that would be very familiar to us, but damned if I can remember what they're called. Come on, then, I think we got time for one more. One more game. What shall it be? Head over heels. Nebulous. Bounder. I do like Bounder. Yeah, Special Reserve, Kevin. You know it, right? Special Reserve. Gaming Muso is looking for a vote. You've got my vote to bugger off. We're not doing politics in here. Mugsy, Miss Pac-Man, Movement Alert, Monty Mole, Nifty Lifty. Head over heels, says Fair Fight. He got in there first. Head over heels. I saw it here somewhere. Here we go. Conuco Megacorp. Go to 10. That's a very cool name for a shop. Any key, move cursor. Oh, hello. We might not get very far in this because we've got Fuller joystick, Kemp's key joystick, or Kempstone joystick. No keyboard controls. Oh, and then here it says you can select the keys. Oh, I'm just going to play the game and see what happens. It just wasn't the same after they changed their name, no. Right, so this got some crazy keys going on. Oh, this is something that. Why were there so many games like this on the Spectrum? Was it like it's almost as if it was created to make these sorts of games, wasn't it? There was always this isometric thing. Wasn't there a Batman game as well? Right, that's it. I'm all set up. I figured out the keys. Was that your compadre? Gaming Muso, yeah, prepared to be disappointed. Ah, okay, so I think maybe I have to stand on here, and I had a button that sent me to the other guy. Okay, don't go there. These teleporters, there's something. I gotta try the Batman one. I think that was. How do you... Look at that, look at that. Ah, ah, ah. That's proper, like, isometric platform there. Look, I'm jumping out of one and then into the other. God, it controls so good though. It really is. It's pretty bloody good. Right, my lovelies. I think it's time for me to go, not just hit the hay, but punch the hay in its stupid hay face. Oh, I'm just sort of curious. Should you just have a little look, see, just see what this game is? Come on, enter at your own. I just want to see if there's music. How is there not music? Ah, it really drives you insane. Let's do the time warp again. Hey, Retro Tech Ralph, you've joined us just as I'm going to bugger off. Okay, enter to start. Well, I just want to see if there's music. That's the only reason I'm trying this. Damn it, Janet, I love you. Okay, I'll give it a quick go. If there's no sound though, friggin' hell. Richard O'Brien would be doing his nutting, wouldn't he? Over this? Do 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 do. Janet. Oh, the controls are like reversed. Here we go. Rocky Horror Show was a weird movie though, wasn't it? It's kind of the strangest sci-fi you're ever likely to see. Damn it, Janet, I love you. Ah, Bazza, it is time to sleep. And Andrew Beer, sorry, it is time to sleep. Yes. What was the side B there? Was it the actual like proper music from the thing? Whoa, look at the picture at the back. That actually does look like it, like the movie. That's crazy. What are you trying? I guess you should be able to pick these up, but it's not letting me. Something to do with the freezer, but I can't remember what was going on with that. Haha, 12-year-old boys. I don't know. It's hard to know what 12-year-old boys get up to, really. It was a weird movie. I just know that much. Dr. Frankenfurter. It's probably something you want to go see on the stage. Oh, my life. I'm too tired. Okay. Oh, God. No, it's here. I was going to give up because the lift wasn't there, but yeah, come on. Damn it, Janet. I love you. Well, it's no head over heels. Let's put it that way. Right then, my loverlies. I'm going to go to bed. And I don't know, I might make a video tomorrow, so you get a video tomorrow. Who knows? Let's play it by ear, shall we? Have a good weekend, and I shall see you on Discord. Bye bye.